For the older viewers of this channel, I'm going to pack the new UAP Dragon material up front on this video, and for people that are new to the subject matter, on the back end of the video I'll provide you with some resources linked in the description of further information should you choose to educate yourself on the subject and become familiar with it before your neighbors are shitting bricks about it.
I want to show you guys now something unusual in the daytime sky, a very weird swarm captured by Melanie K just a couple of days ago on the 23rd. Check this out, 4:50 p.m. I zoomed in on the left, the original vertical videos on the right. They were a little difficult to see, so I zoomed in over here on the left and I made it into 4K. So she said, oh my gosh, I'm getting it. She didn't know what she was looking at. It is a flurry of white objects moving through the daytime sky. They appear to be moving at about the same speed. They weren't blinking lights, they weren't balloons, they were just some sort of white mysterious objects, a whole group of them, a large swarm, and they were moving very slowly. So here I zoom in and I modified the lighting and color just a little bit to try to pull them forward, just to see if maybe there were strings hanging off the bottom or something, and there weren't. So this was indeed a mysterious sighting of probably well over 100, maybe 150, 200, I don't know, they're next to impossible to count, but a huge swarm of mysterious white objects cruising through the daytime sky. I'm waiting to hear back from Melanie on the location of this observation of these very mysterious objects in the daytime sky. Great.
Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. This is Robert at Custodian File. Today is June 13. All right, let's just jump on in here. We have a lot of amazing good video. I want to try to get it out there and post much quicker now. So I showed this a few days ago from a chip in Florida. Very concerning, to say the least. What apparently, to me, what looks like a fleet, a UFO dragons, really raises the question of why this is happening. It's concerning. One UFO dragon, yeah, recon, I get that. But a fleet is not reconning. They're not there to recon. So we really need to think about this and really look into it and come up with some new ideas on why are they doing this? Why are they flying like this? Really, we got to think outside the box, because this is not reconning. This is not collecting data, passive data. This is, you trust your human instincts. This is something else. Chip, thank you very much. You're just knocking it out of the park. Outstanding. All your videos, they just keep getting better and better. And I have videos again coming in from all over the world. And in the last couple of days too, I hit a couple grand slams in Marina Del Rey.
The first video segment we watched was from Mr. MBB333. This one is from Custodian Files, the primary resource for these UAP Dragon videos. And this is recently uploaded about a month ago from Deadeye Customs, who also has a large library of these, what I once called black dot craft, but based on the video Mr. MB3 just showed us, we could just as well call them white dot craft. What Deadeye Customs called cloud tenders, these little tiny black dot craft in the sky, and what Custodian Files calls UAP dragons, because he believed they were dragonflies when he first discovered them. So without further ado, I'm just going to let this play all the way through, and you'll see Deadeye Customs here is showing some real close-ups of the very same craft that Custodian Files calls UAP dragons, with a copper-shaped body. Many appear to have wings, but they're not wings. On with the show.
Alright, we got an interesting one. Bug drones, fake bugs. Spies in the sky. So you can see this thing is flying around. It looks like just a little yellow orange orb. It's way out there, it's close. No real definition. Kind of just looks like an orb. This is caught on my security camera. And then you're going to see it at the bottom right. It pops up. It's got wings. And it has no detail to it. It's just like a weird cone, yellow golden cone with two little stationary dark wings. See, there it is as a golden orb, just an orb. And then there it is like a metallic golden cone with black fake wings. Definitely like a bug drone. And then we got another one right here. You see how it actually dips in front of the sun, making an effect on the sunlight right there, giving you an idea about its distance, size. These things are very weird. Bugs, you know, they vibrate. Most of them vibrate their wings. They don't flap like birds. And when you see this thing slow down, I mean, it's like barely flapping. You know, it's like the wings are just kind of there for show to convince the simpletons that they're just bugs. It's not a bug. It's like a freaking hologram wing, or, you know, you can never really see any detail on them. They're always kind of like fuzzy and out of focus, or, you know, in focus for 1 second. See, this thing's kind of right in front of the camera, but it's just blurry. Now that security camera is a $400 or $500 security camera. It doesn't matter how far, how close you are. Everything in the view is detailed, clear. You can tell what it is. I have many examples of crystal clear butterflies, wasps. I mean, it's like 4K clear. And then you got this thing that's just like, I don't know, it's like a little hologram bug, and it's flapping. You know, bugs don't flap their wings like birds. You know, that's the other giveaway. It's like a bug bird. It's just like a little blob body with these kind of fake wings that just flap like birds. Here's another one. You know, what kind of damn animal is this? Looks like a carpenter bee, kinda, flying backwards. You know, it's stinger in the front. Got these little tiny ass freaking hummingbird looking wings, the beak. There's no creature that I know of that looks like that. So I got the body of a carpenter bee, but it's got a freaking antenna and like a dome on its head, and these little energy wings on the side. You know, it's clearly not any bug I've ever seen, and this was in Georgia. And there it is again in a different shot. Now look at it. It's completely goes from that, and it starts morphing into whatever the frick that is. That's the same object. You know, here it is again, or a different one. Freaking, you know, they morph into weird. I mean, look at that thing. It looks like a fishing lure. And I was just zipping by my security camera. There's another one. It's like a red sphere at 1 second, and then it's kind of got, see, it's like a red sphere. It's kind of like a blur, a blob. You know, and like this thing. You know, what the hell? What kind of a damn bird has bug wings? You know, and they got like triangular tips. I mean, it's like a bird-bug mix. And here's a video that actually somebody got in 4K showing these things. See, it's like a freaking blob. The wings aren't flapping. They're just kind of like there to, I don't know, move it. Give it the impression that it's a bug. So people just write it off.
Saying not long ago that,
you know,
we have
just a
no
dark
choice but to
freaking
give
blob
in to the insects.
with these little protrusions
Just
on the
no
sides
choice,
that
and it's
act like
because
wings.
of this object. It's because of this guy.
But clearly they got some kind of anti-gravity,
So let me show you more or less where I'm at.
and the wings
These
are just
two,
there.
this guy, we filmed before,
So it's easily,
the blue
you know,
drone guy,
written off by people,
is this guy.
and it works. I have to admit, it works. Now he
Now,
did
you're
a
gonna see
really
the
nice
videos all
camera,
coming out just
very
now in the pink smoke.
high rate of speed
Phone's
capture.
broken, so I can't actually log
He's
on
basically
to YouTube,
taking
you know, make
a
it
crap load of photos, time-lapse photos,
Authentication.
and then he put them all into this
So,
like collage to show,
He is
you know,
not
its
a
path, how they fly.
chance a bug.
You know,
or
it's just like a
insect.
dark
Not a chance.
blob
So
that kind of
that's confusing.
just flying at weird directions.
Because they all come up to
Here's
the
another
drone
one.
like
It's just
this.
like a weird.
And I'm like, man, are you an insect?
It's like they change shape.
So
They're just
confusing. I ain't ever
they're
seen
not
an
normal
insect
objects,
like that
but they
before.
zip around the sky so
Especially
fast
when he
that our
does these
normal eyes
twists
can't
and
see them.
turns to
Only our
face
cameras can catch them.
with
And if you
that,
have a really expensive camera like this dude in Australia,
I am
then you can
unsure.
get, you know,
I just
captures like
have
this.
never seen an
You really
insect
see some
look
detail.
like that. Then it gets more complicated when,
I mean,
when you're
I
saying,
can't
okay,
remember
so
the
let's
guy's
say they
channel.
are
I'll have to give him a
insects.
shout out later.
That is
but
one type
somebody
of a guy. That is
showed me this, and I was like, man,
two
that's,
types of
that's
an
exactly
insect.
like my dang bug
Now when
drones.
we have a look at them all
See,
going,
they
let's
just
go, okay,
zipping
one at a
around. I
time.
mean, yeah, some of them probably are
Three.
bugs.
It's also one of the weirdest insects I've ever
But
seen. So there's
these
3
other ones
different
are just
types. The guy at the back
not.
there,
I
maybe
filmed
4
so
is
many
the same.
flying insects on my
And
cameras,
I go, what
watched
is
them
this?
hours, days in,
What?
days out. You know,
Is that
they're always
what
clearly
kind of
identified
shape
as a
of an
bug.
insect?
You know, a
If you want an
familiar
insect,
bug,
so
the
that's
habits,
it.
the way they fly, everything about them. But these things are just different. They're just different. They don't do bug stuff. They're just zipping around, God only knows what. But they got these like fake little holographic wings, and they're just like dark blob bodies. You know, some of them look like fireflies, some of them look like dragonflies, some of them look like freaking horsefly. I don't know. They're all somewhat similar, but you know, and you got these are probably advanced Dragonfly drone tech. I caught this with my P1000. You know, it just looks like a man-made freaking super advanced Dragonfly drone. You know, it's not a bug. That's some kind of advanced drone. That one's probably something like ours. Here's all the examples, the different weird ones that I've captured. You know, Dragonfly, all the one on the right, it actually has like a little O insignia on its wing. You know, here's another one that's not, it's not a normal Dragonfly. You got these things, I don't know, these things are just weird. I don't know if that's like the vortex flowing through the damn anti-gravity, you know, the field that distorts its actual image. And that's all you can see is just kind of like the, I don't know, a torrid flow of the energy. You know, spear on the right, kind of like that dragonfly looking thing on the left. Another one, clearly not a bug. You know, this one kind of looked like a bird, but, you know, its wings are not feathers. And that was with my P1000 4K. You know, and we had these things, those from the ISS, that one that was filmed, it's just like a dark sphere, and it's got kind of like an energy field that kind of moves around and looks like a wing. I mean, they move too fast, they're too small, we can't see them with our eyes, but if you have a nice camera and you film long enough and you take the time to slowly go through it and zoom in on anything interesting, you'll see these things every day. They're everywhere. You know, there's a little Gumby square freaking with little fake wing energy fields. You know, tons of previous captures from way back in the day. There's little orbs with little energy wings. I don't know. Very strange, guys. Very strange. But I figured I'd put them all together since I had a couple new ones. You know, another fake dragonfly. You know, I mean, that's with the high-res camera. You know, you got freaking this thing. You know, I don't know what the hell it is, but it's got like a little propeller that's out in front of it, not even attached. You know, it's like a weird torpedo with all these weird propeller type things. And I would think it was nothing if I didn't capture this later with a different camera. Same thing. And then this one got like a little propeller out front. They zip around so damn fast, almost impossible to catch. But my OCD makes me go through these very slowly and find these things. But that was it. So hope you enjoyed it. Peace.
Just a quick reminder, I'm not going to go over too much of this old material, but I wanted to remind even the old viewers of the time when these are bouncing off the windshield of the fighter jets, intruding into restricted airspace over the Air Force training facility and pretty much taunting the fighter pilots and bouncing off the windshield of the cockpit. We'll watch 2 minutes of this. Okay, it looks like the Dragons have resorted to photobombing the air shows, where they intentionally get in the frame. What you're going to see, I'm going to point it out for you here real quick with the pencil. Right about here, you'll see a UAP Dragon. It comes up this way, and then crosses right over the nose of that jet. They're both going to the right, but he slows down to the speed of the jet and then hits the gas and takes off again. Check this out. Here he comes right there. He's slowing down to the speed of the jet, swooping up, crossing the nose of the jet, and taking off again. One more time. Here he comes. Swoops up toward the jet, and then takes off again. I described exactly this scene happening in a video made 2 months ago called F-16 Gets Face Slapped by UFO Swarms at Military Bases. Let's just watch the first couple of minutes of this video.
Air jets are having troubling aerial encounters in Arizona's restricted air combat training areas, which fits with a broader trend, according to a new report from the war zone. Pilots are reportedly encountering small, unidentified objects, sometimes in a swarm-like group of as many as 8. They're also seeing sightings of other objects, including some characterized as drones, flying at altitudes up to 36,000 feet and as fast as Mach 0.75. Another apparent small drone hitting the canopy of an F-16 Viper, causing damage. These incidents and many more all occurred in or around various military air combat training ranges in Arizona since January of 2020, according to Warzone.
These events are described in reports from the Federal Aviation Administration filed over roughly a 3-year period. And all of this, of course, comes as Congress just heard historic testimony on UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomenon.
I know this one was a bit hard to see, so I've zoomed in a little bit. The jet hits the gas and takes off again. Check this out. Comes right there. He's slowing down to the speed of the jet, swooping up, crossing the nose of the jet, and taking off again. One more time. Here he comes. Swoops up toward the jet, and then takes off again. Comes. Swoops up toward the jet, and then takes off again. I described Here's a couple more videos that'll be linked in the description. Warp drive dragon wings and ongoing disclosure revelation. Dogfighting dragons outmaneuver F-35's ultimate secret weapon for worldwide regime change.
No, I have some bonus footage I want to share with you guys, going back to the video we did a couple of days ago that involved these jets that were flying in formation. Captain Dave noticed this black object that did appear in the video as the jets were flying through the sky. I had zoomed in on that, and there were wings flapping up and down. That was a bird that was closer to the viewer than it was to the airplanes. I'm heavily zoomed on the planes right here. So I did inspect that, Dave.
Uh-huh. We believe you. We believe you, Mr. MB. Pacify the livestock, keep them herd from stampeding. Here's another example Mr. MB3 gave us of these UAP dragons traveling like 2,000 miles an hour, and I guarantee he's received at least 100 videos of this particular phenomenon. He is just not ready to let this cat out of the bag yet. That's why he rewinds it and says, "Oh, I saw wings, that must be a bird." Except this time he tells you there's no way this is a bird.
Vancouver, Washington. Here we go. This is some incredible footage. I'm telling you, I had to slow this down to 1 frame per second. Right here goes. You're going to see a black object here in a minute. I have to zoom in really tight. It's not a bird, I can assure you that. This thing's moving way too fast. It goes over the left wing of the plane, as you're going to see here in just a minute. This thing was moving so fast, I'm assuming probably 500-600 mile an hour in this frame right here, maybe faster. You know, the plane was moving at about 100 miles per hour. This thing makes the plane look like it's sitting still. This is at 1 frame per second. Look at how fast that thing's still going. That is not a bird. That's not anywhere near the viewer. Doesn't change shape. Doesn't have any flapping wings or anything like that. That's a black object in broad daylight, moving at an incredible rate of speed. I don't know how he noticed this. He noticed it in the...
So the video we just watched 2 minutes of was this one titled Dragonfly Circles Around Fighter Jets at Air Show. And linked in the description of that one is Dragon Army of AI Drones. We are surrounded by the Borg swarm. Assimilation is imminent. And then one from Custodian Files, the Woodbury fire from Mr. MB3, plasma-powered Thunderbird source video. We'll watch a couple seconds of that here in a minute. How cubes and spheres it's supposed to say celestial cubes and spheres influence winter fire season. UAP over military base, ShadowCraft and Cloud Tenders by Deadeye Customs, where Deadeye Customs shows you that in the clouds from his home security camera, you can zoom in and see hundreds of these things in the clouds and scattered throughout the sky with the blue backdrop. Riders on the Storm, Stellar Corps, Space Force, God's Army, that one I highly recommend. And Invisible Anti-Gravity Craft Part 1 and 2. Nowhere in here do I see the one that I just mentioned in that video titled F-16 gets face slapped by the UAPs over the military base, so I'll have to add that one too. I'll leave these in the description of the video that I'm uploading now. Let's just go check out a couple seconds to show you the very first time I encountered these things in the video titled Plasma Powered Thunderbird Source Video.
Like I was saying, they get rid.
So what you're going to be looking for is right here. You'll see one that's visible the whole time, and occasionally two others appear below it. The two that appear below it, when they fade in and out of view, when they're in view, there's a bunch of others scattered all throughout the clouds over here. But my point here is those that Custodian file films are typically doing 2,000 miles an hour. The ones that Mr. MB3 showed today that weren't black dot craft but white dot craft, those were all going fairly slow. The first time I ever encountered these was on a video that I took myself where they're sitting stationary up in the upper right hand corner of the screen. So you can now see it. Hold on before I mess things up. For some reason my lighting's going down, but you can see it right there. This one's here for the first 51 seconds of the video, and then the other two appear below it in a triangle formation. And I didn't notice it while I was filming. I was filming the dragon clouds. But that's where I want you to focus your attention upon, is that one that you can see constantly for the first 50 seconds or so, and the two that appear below it. I've turned down the volume so it's not as distracting. I zoom in past it, so you can see it's not a smudge on the lens. I zoom back out, there it is, floating in the sky right there. And you'll start to see a couple appear below it. You see one of them appeared already, directly down from the main one. And you'll see a triangle formation of 3 of them sitting right there. Wait for it. Now you can see at least 2. There's 3. Now you can see all 3 sitting there on the right hand side of the screen. And when you pause it at a spot, those 2 other ones, they kind of flicker in and out of view. So when you pause it on a spot where they're highly visible, you can zoom in and find a bunch of others scattered throughout the clouds, like they're all operating on the same cloaking apparatus. I got too much crap on my screen right now. But there's one, center screen. And in some of those videos I go through here and I show you a bunch of them scattered all throughout. And I kind of forget where to see them. There's one. Center screen. And so when those two that are below the main one that can be seen for the first 50 seconds, they kind of fade in and out of view. So there's one right here, center screen below the wire. And there's at least one right here, center screen above the wire. And of the three that are on the right-hand side over here, the one that's at the top of the triangle formation is clearly visible the whole time. When the other two that are below it come into view, so do all the other ones that are in the screen. When they go out of view, like they're flickering in and out of view, when they go out of view, so do all the other ones that are on the screen, like they're all on some sort of cloaking apparatus that interacts with the same cloaking as the other ones. And this is the video that I took about 5 years ago, titled Plasma Powered Thunderbird Source Video, right about April 19th, 2019, a date you might have heard me mention a few times. It was the day I left on my vision quest and never been the same since.
Like I was saying, they get real close these days. They're right down here, almost ground level. So this is zoomed all the way out. If I zoom in, see what I'm saying? They're really close. They're coming down. I, in fact, watched them go. I watched some of them lower. Like this one seems to be pretty low. I watched them go from a higher altitude and coming right down. Now you can start to see the eye form and these.
Okay, crazy guy. We've repaired our reputation since the time when you were so out there no one could relate to anything you were saying. Let's try and keep it that way. Links will be in the description for anyone who wants to look further into this. It won't be long before everyone knows about it, but it'll be a real rude awakening when they discover abruptly, against their own will. So you can voluntarily decide to educate yourself on the subject and give yourself a little bit more of a easy incremental increase of your understanding before it drops and hits like a ton of bricks. And just for the muse message to go with this video, we'll do FC Kahuna Hayling. And it starts out with her playing this piano, and it's contrasting the old and the new, the tarnished look of her dress and the legs on the piano. This is very old style furniture and her dress. And as she's playing the piano, something emerges from it, mechanical. And it grows, and they're showing old school photographs. There on the bottom right, these are strips of film from back when pictures were actually developed using film. And they're contrasting the old technology with the new technology. And you can see that this machine that emerges from her instrument starts developing like these octopus tentacles and some very high-tech looking stuff. Kind of creepy if you're easily creeped out. And the only lyric, there's the old film again. The only lyric is, "Don't think about those things that you fear, just be glad to be here. Just be glad to be here. Don't think about those things that you fear, just be glad to be here." And in the very final scene, she kind of flickers and fades in and out like a hologram.